All right, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hey, I'm Brother Brian here on KIEZ 106.7 FM here in the city of Monroe. And together we are the voice of the community. Hey, I got a very special guest live on the line today. I know him from being around many of years. He's been an extended mentor to me and also a person in the community of justice. I'm talking about Judge Jefferson. He's been here in town for a number of years, a local, and basically, I'm pretty sure he's just an actual name for the court system itself. So I want to go ahead and say, good afternoon, Judge. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm doing fine.
Well, good, well, good. Judge, you're looking very refreshed over there, energetic. I like that sweater you have on. It's one of those nice, expensive, $200-300 sweaters.
It's not expensive and it's over 20 years old.
Oh, style is coming back then. I'm glad to hear that.
I didn't throw away anything.
You know what? That doesn't surprise me.
Okay.
Hey, we're talking to Judge Jefferson here today because there's something coming up in the near future, and I want everyone to be fully aware of what's going to take place because the criminal justice system, now we're just talking about the criminal justice system, is very important. And what's more important than the criminal justice system is the justice system itself. The justice system actually plays a major part in our community. Now, let's take a person that has a lot of experience, the judge himself. He's originally from Bastrop, attended school here locally at the traditional Northeast Louisiana University, and then continued his education over in Washington. Is that right, Judge, over in Washington, D.C. or Washington College?
Washington, D.C. is American University, Washington College of Law in Washington, D.C.
Okay, in Washington, D.C. Wow. Tell me a little history on that. What took you way to Washington, D.C.?
Well, when I was in high school, I was a member of the Mu Sigma Honor Society, and the annual trip was a tour of the East Coast, going through Williamsburg, Virginia, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and New York. And I fell in love with D.C. at that time. And when I decided to go to law school, I applied to go there along with other out-of-state instances, but I want to go to American University in DC, and that's who I selected, even though at the time they had over-admitted the class, more people accepted than they thought. And they sent letters out asking some of us to delay coming, and I just could not do so. And I went up there without any scholarship, got there, and they gave me the scholarship once I got there.
Wow, now that was definitely taking a chance.
It was.
I guess you did that because, I mean, what was the purpose of doing that, taking such a gamble without the finances actually being in place?
Well, like I said, I want to go to DC, being a person of history, a student of history, and aware of the centralization of our national government being there. And I want to be a part of that atmosphere. And I've been accepted at law schools in University of Iowa, St. Louis University, University of Missouri, Loyola. I just didn't want to go to those places, and I just took my chance, went up there, didn't have any place to stay. Stayed one night at the Salvation Army, and found a place the next day over in Arlington, Virginia.
Okay, wow, okay. Now, didn't know that after all these years. That's interesting. Well, I tell you what, let's talk about a little bit about your history, because we're talking to Judge Jefferson today because there's going to be an election coming up in the near future at the appeals court level. So before we get into what actually takes place or the structure of the court system or what takes place at the appeals court level, let's talk about Judge Jefferson's work history. Now, Judge, I see here you started at the Monroe City Court back in 1991, and you have a number of years sitting on the bench right there locally, practicing justice for individuals here in Ouachita Parish.
Right. I have a total of 16 years experience at Monroe City Court. I was the first Black elected to the court system in Ouachita Parish in 1990. And that, like I said, was to the city court at that time. I was elected at large also, which was unusual for a Black person to be elected at large in the judicial system.
Okay. And also, this is where I met you. I see that you were a professor at right here locally also at Grambling State University.
Yeah, I taught at ULM also. After I came back from law school, I worked 2 years part-time as an instructor in government at Northeast Louisiana University at the time, now ULM. Then I also spent over 3 years at Grambling State University as an associate professor studies program. And that was during the period that I was not on the bench. So it was during that time period I worked at Grambling State University for 3 years.
Okay, so definitely education has always been a part of your portfolio.
And so even prior to law school, I worked 2 years at Monroe City Planning Department as the first Black planner down there. And so my experience has been in either state, local government, or federal government, because I worked 1 year, since it's been at Johnston while I was in law school, and 1 year at U.S. Department of Labor also.
Okay, all right. Judge, well, I appreciate that. You're telling us about your tenure at Monroe City Court, but also now you're currently a sitting judge at the district level right here in Ouachita Parish. And tell me, when did you take office there?
I took office there January the 1st, 2015, and was reelected without opposition just this past qualified period, July, for new term starting January the 1st, 2021, for another 6-year term.
Okay. And now you believe, with all your tenure, all your experience, that you will do what you believe you will serve the community better at the appeals court level?
Yeah, the appellate court, generally, the judges sitting on that court have years of experience at the trial court level, either at the city court or the district court or juvenile court. And they bring to that the background of being able to examine the issues that are appealed to that court from the district court and from the city court and from the juvenile court systems. Okay,
because right now at your position at sitting, what district are you? What district do you currently serve in?
Well, it's not a district.
I'm sorry, division.
We serve all of Ouachita and Morehouse Parish.
Okay.
The district. Yeah. Now, for election purposes, I'm in Division H. This is my division. And that's a description, so you identify who the judge is. Division H is the division number for me, because we have 11 judges: A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, or the division numbers. We have 11 judges at the district court, but we all serve Ouachita, all of Ouachita and all of Morehouse Parish.
On the criminal and civil side?
Criminal and civil.
Okay, and sometimes under District 4, which also serves Morehouse Parish.
And it's not sometimes, all the time. We all rotate up there. We are on a rotating base. There's the judges there two judges up there every week. The first student, the next student is the rotation. So the rotation runs around about every 5 weeks for each two judges. And then there's a juvenile section is Judge Marshman. She does all the juvenile for Ouachita and Morehouse parishes. Okay. Outside the city court's jurisdiction for juvenile.
Okay, all right. So the structure of the court system, what I'm understanding right now, starts at the local court level, which is like the city of Monroe. Then there's the state court. I'm sorry, yes, the state court, correct?
Right.
The district court.
Right.
Then above the district court is the appeals court.
Right.
Then above the appeals court is the state Supreme Court.
Right.
And then the United States Supreme Court.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I follow you clearly. Now, at the appeals court, now tell me, what is the ultimate purpose of the Court of Appeals?
That is to review the decisions made by the judges at the city court level and the district court level.
Okay, so just like you said, so right now you're sitting currently at Ouachita Parish District Court, and so you can only govern over the cases that come before you. However, by being at the appeals court, at any level, someone believes that they want to appeal a case, and now that goes to the appeals court. So now you will have more opportunity to really exercise justice on multiple cases.
Right, as a district court judge, so each judge has his own court, is a single judge making the decision. At the appellate level on the appeals court, they sit in panels of 3. So there are 3 judges reviewing those appeals that they're assigned to them.
Okay, all right. So can you share with me what actually constitutes the grounds for an appeal itself?
Well, the statute spells out, your grounds for appeal. Let me give an example. Let me start with the city court first. The city court, they handle misdemeanor cases. Those misdemeanor criminal cases are appealed to the district court. However, the civil cases from city court are appealed to the appeals court. And the juvenile cases are appealed to the appeals court. So from the city court level, criminal cases from the city court are appealed directly to the district court. And all other matters in city court are appealed to the appellate court. If a judge renders a decision that one side or other disagrees with, they can appeal to the appeals court. Or if there's something going on during a trial that is an issue that needs to be resolved to further the conclusion of the trial, they can take writs up to the Court of Appeals, and they render a decision as to whether something is proper, improper, that's taking place during the process of the proceedings in the district court or the city court.
Okay. So basically that, I guess, yeah, you pretty much broke that down to what the true difference of the Court of Appeals and also the trial court, which is at the district court, is because of someone may believe that they were their justice was exercised improperly, and so
right.
Now they can appeal that judge's decision.
Right.
Which goes up, if we're at the district, then it goes up to the appeals court.
Right.
But if we were at the city of Monroe, then that would be appealed directly to the district court.
No, only criminal cases now.
Only criminal. I get you. Only criminal. Okay. Joe, this stuff's kind of confusing. So we need professionals like you to walk us through the process.
Civil cases are appealed from city court directly to the Court of Appeals. Criminal cases from the city court are appealed to the district court.
Okay. I got you. All right.
Now they can go up to the Court of Appeals from that district court, but they first, from city court in a criminal case, must appeal to the district court. If they disagree with that decision there, then it goes to the Court of Appeals.
Okay, so at the Court of Appeals, how does that process work? Does the individual actually have to have their attorney again, or is it only documentation, or how does that work?
Right. Well, you can or cannot have an attorney. It's up to the person who's appealing whether or not they have someone representing them. However, they must signify or designate to the court what the error is that they are complaining of and submit a brief setting forth their position or the law as it pertains to their position. And then it's up to the Court of Appeals to hear oral arguments. You don't have to have an oral argument. You can have an oral argument before the Court of Appeals. And after that, the 3 judges render a decision as to whether or not to overturn or modify or affirm or sustain the action at the trial court level.
Okay, well, Judge Jefferson, I know your name rings all in the community, and I know you've done the people, some people call you the actual people's judge. But share with me, what is your true passion and that you desire to go to the appeals court? Because some people, I was thinking at one time, well, man, I sure hate to lose Judge Jefferson right here at the district court, because he's actually the people's judge and he actually fights for justice at the local level. So why do you think you can do I don't know if you think you can do a better job or you can reach out more people, but what is your passion now to go to the appeals court? Well,
first of all, that's a process. I start out the city court, district court, and the next level would, I won't say naturally, be going to the Court of Appeals, because that's the next highest level. There are instances where you see that some decisions that have been made that perhaps, if I was there, I would have had a different input on those decisions. And those decisions do affect person, because once you go to the Court of Appeals, it's hard to get a case heard by the U.S. Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Not U.S. I mean the state Supreme Court. they have discretion as to whether or not to hear an appeal at the Louisiana Supreme Court, and they take very few cases, for persons who complain about decisions that have been rendered.
Okay, okay.
So the Court of Appeals is kind of the last stop from a practical standpoint that you have, because it's hard to get the Louisiana Supreme Court to hear your case.
Yeah. About how many cases are actually sent to the appeals court? Well, I can't answer exactly, but I was told that at the U.S. Supreme Court, they usually have 8,000 or so sent to them, but they may only rule on 80 to 100 of them. So at the Court of Appeals,
yeah, that's a different system. The federal court system is a different system, because there is discretionary there also. That's why. See, they don't have to hear certain cases, except they choose to do so. Whereas with the state appeals court here, by right, you have the right to appeal a decision that's been rendered adversely to you. And if you're found guilty in a criminal sense, you have the right to appeal.
Whoa.
That's a matter of right. Now, you don't have to, but you have the right to appeal. Whereas in the federal system before the U.S. Supreme Court, you don't have the right to appeal that to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm Brother Brian. I'm talking to Judge Jefferson right here, a local judge sitting on the bench today, and he has ambitions to get to the next level, which is the Court of Appeals. And the only way that the judge can actually do that is through the confidence of the people in the community. He served the community for an extended period of time. He has worked here in this community. He has local memberships directly here. Now, Judge, I know that you work in the community outside of being an actual on as far as the judicial aspect, but I know you sit on several boards in the local community. Share with us what are some of those boards?
Well, presently I'm active on the board for the UMCAP Community Action Program, and also for OIC, the Opportunity and Just Relations Centers Program. Have been on other boards that are not active now because of the time constraints, and some of the, such as the Twin City Community Welfare, which is now no longer does not exist because it's now kind of defunct. Mm-hmm. And in the past, I've served as vice president of NAACP. There's several others, it's something I've forgotten, something that I've been on before, and always volunteer.
Legal assistant, legal aid?
Yeah, I was a board of directors of legal services, also the board member. And there was some other things, like I say, it's just hard to remember all of them because I'm
looking at your old bio where you were, looks like the Judges Association.
Yeah, those are associations from the judicial, aspect of it. American Judges Association, National Juvenile Judges Association, because I did do juvenile at the city court level, and other organizations related to judicial functions. But a lot of my other activities have been community-oriented functions, nonprofits primarily. I've never developed an organization where I was profiting from it, doing stuff to make money for myself.
Okay, sounds good. Well, Judge, I definitely appreciate you sitting down with me today, sharing with the community basically about the structure of the court system, so we can understand it better and understand the purpose of getting someone with the proper experience in order to truly serve the community at a larger level. So we have to, as a community person, has to think beyond of being selfish and think about the community as a whole.
Yeah, and being an appeals court judge requires someone who has experience by hearing cases that will come before them, so that have some background or knowledge as to what the issues are and how those issues should be resolved. And that takes experience sitting as a trial court judge, as well as practicing law also.
Okay, so when does this election take place?
The election is March the 20th, 2021.
Wow, right around the corner. Okay, all right. March 20th of next year. That's when we need to expect it. So what about qualification? When does that start?
Qualification starts January 20th through the 22nd.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, there, Judge. Judge, I'm gonna give you the last couple of words. You can share
Also,
with people.
and also like the coverage area includes all of East Carroll, Madison, and Tensas parishes, and about 10 precincts in West Carroll parishes, about 12 precincts in Morris Parish, and most of southern Monroe, and out there at Washita Parish School and Love Estates area out there also included.
Okay, well, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
And that's going to take place in March. Qualification takes place in January, and pretty much it covers all the entire, almost the entire Northeast Louisiana. So,
well, all of Northeast Louisiana is in the area for the Second Circuit. However, all that area does not vote in this particular race, just those parishes I mentioned, because you have Richland Parish, Franklin Parish, and then also the other section, which is not up yet, vote in those areas.
okay, because this one is the Second Circuit, and the person sat in that seat for a period of what, maybe 20-some years?
Yeah, she was elected in 1992, Judge Felicia Tony Williams.
Okay, okay, and she has retired, and that's why this seat is open as of today.
Right, because the term, there's 2 years left on that term, and this is still an unexpired term with the new term starting in 2022. There'll be election for that also.
Okay, well, good. Well, Judge, once again, I appreciate taking some time out to sit down and speak to the people in the community. Is there anything else you want to share with us before we see you on Election Day?
Well, right now, I want to declare that there is an election coming up, and they should be looking for the most qualified person to serve, which I suspect would be Judge Larry D. Jefferson.
All right. Well, Judge, I sure appreciate your time today.
Right.